What are you troubling? What do you need?
I've come seeking your counsel on a possibly world-threatening issue, or at least local.
World-threatening issue. Yes, well, I suppose I might be able to help you out a little bit, though I've been neck deep in my own investigations myself. A lot of interesting things that people tend to have been ignoring about the past decade or so.
Are any of those things mentioning a word about God Beast?
God beasts. Um, Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to have you guys roll the like history checks and what have you for what this guy knows.
Do you
So
want me to
roll
use
a history
Solana's
check.
sheet for that?
Yeah, so no, you roll a history check for me.
Okay, this is gonna suck, because Ione's not that smart.
Oof.
Oosh.
God,
He knows.
God
He knows
beasts.
Jack.
I don't. I've never come across that term before. Um, I might not do that in the future because it's actually a horrible idea. I'm just trying to think of ways to have your guys' roles influence what's going on. Um, I don't think I've come across any of that on my own time, though. Perhaps. Tell me more about these god beasts.
All I have is it was in a map, and this town, or at least close to it, was pinged as one of the locations where it was located. One of
So,
them were located.
and he'll kind of go out and he'll to his looking at his desk, he'll kind of wave his hand, point out a wand. He kind of just waves it across the desk, and the desk clears off in a moment. He'll reach into pulling out a drawer and he'll lay out a large map on the desk. Can you point out exactly where these locations are? You said there was one right here, and it pointed at. So where there were others?
Solana will point. I'm used to Solana being here. Wow.
Yeah.
Ione's just gonna point up locations off the top of her head.
Let's see. So up here in the way. Hmm. Keep in mind as well, his map doesn't actually have a lot of the northern continent, so you'll be able to point off the one on the island, and then you'll kind of, I suppose, you'll indicate that there's another one far up in the northern wastes.
Yeah, there's one up here somewhere.
I see. That's. I don't have a lot of information about up there. So there were three of them, and all it was a warning. Was there anything else?
Out of character, I do not remember.
Out of character, no, there was not. It was just a warning. God beast detected.
Just that they're detected, nothing else.
Hmm.
However, going by how it was a warning and the simple naming scheme of them, I assume it might be something of catastrophic disaster. It is possible it's safe, but
That. Hmm. Well, that might actually tie in at least a little bit to the research I've been doing. And he'll look over to Azul and Shiki. The two of you, you are, if I'm not mistaken, not from this land, are you?
Um. No. No, we're not.
Yes. And would I be inaccurate to say you've only come to this land within, say, 10, 11 years?
Um. To what I can remember, I've only got 10 years of knowledge.
And Azul will kind of nod and her eyes kind of narrow as well. Yes, what are you getting at? Well, what I'm getting at is this, and one thing that most people don't realize. With the war ended about a decade ago. That big civil war up in the north around the the entire northern side of this continent, going all the way down to the tower. That was, oh, I could feel when that tower exploded. But people, it was around that time, and I believe most people blamed it on the tower exploding. But your kind started showing up, and slowly, we've seen a few people around here time and again. And I think most of us just assumed it was because of that tower, but I've started doing more research, especially once the floating island appeared, and though it's a lot harder now that it's vanished.
Hmm.
And Azul kind of just perks her ears up at that. It's vanished? What do you mean it's vanished? Oh yes, what was about a week ago or so. two large storms kind of were converging on it about where it was in the sky, and when the clouds cleared, it wasn't there anymore.
That's pretty weird for two storms just to converge, especially to break it together at the island.
Perhaps
Yes.
it's just a false rumor that you're hearing about that.
Oh,
Um,
no, not at all. I've actually even some. Well, I've had some strange customers that showed up a number of months ago who were looking for the location of several sigils of sorts, and wanted a divination to locate them. A number of them, a large number of them, appear to be located on this island, and I've tried doing that same divination again, and none of them. The island doesn't appear anymore.
it's also not on the map, remember?
Map? Oh, you're talking about the map with. What map are you talking about?
So we have something special.
Hmm.
And Azul will explain. Yeah, this is the map where we actually saw this warning with the god beasts. Ah, okay, that might make sense. But yes, but your kind and everything that happened about like a decade ago, I believe you all come from another world entirely. I've been trying to go through research and figure it out, but even with all the books I've been gathering up, I feel like I'm missing so much.
Huh.
Hmm.
And
So
you think it's possible it could be linked to the god beast?
it's. I won't say it's out of the question. We have no evidence to say that it's related, but we have no evidence to say it's not related. If you're really interested in helping out, perhaps you could help me go through all these books and get some research done.
Unfortunately, I'm not that good at research.
You, if I've got to read, you've got to read.
I could help, but I don't expect too much.
All right. So
How,
I'm gonna
how about
go on.
how about some encouragement? Safety comes off.
Who is
Joking.
this? All right.
I just got pop or no.
All right. So I'm gonna say that you can roll each an investigation with advantage.
Advantage might be my saving grace here.
Yeah, it might be.
Nope.
Yeah, so Ione, with you not being very good at doing all the research, you don't really hit too many things. Shiki, while you're going to kind of a slow start, you don't really see much anything, but you
Sorry.
eventually open up another book and you flip through and you see
Sorry.
things that.
Sorry, couldn't help myself.
That's what
Please.
most of what she's doing for.
All right, now I'm going to
Please
say you
do
don't find anything, and I'm going to say you just don't find anything.
Oh.
All right, and you open up, and yes, the book does seem kind of boring, but as you kind of put it back, you pull out another one. As you flip through it and just glance, you see a few things that they look familiar, like you should know this, but you can't remember it off the back of your head, and you just keep looking through it. And this particular book, it's actually seems to be describing a very, very old story.
Guys, I think I found something.
Oh,
Oh?
may I see that?
Well, I'm reading it.
Well, yes, I suppose it would be very rude of me to take the book
Wait,
away from you.
I read it out loud.
Yes. All right. So reading it out loud, this book is more or less describing an origin of the world. Several great forces came together even before the gods were created, more or less. Forces of nature, not quite of the elements; those came a bit later, but force of land, air, water. And they just kind of seem to fight against each other a lot, and they're fighting every time this earth aspect was damaged. Parts of its body would fall off and eventually become the land masses. As this water element was damaged, its blood would fall out and become the rivers and the streams. And every time that the wind element would fly around, it would make huge gusts of wind to appear, which would blow across the waves and everything else. And as it's like damaged and everything, the winds would shift and all this stuff. But because of how chaotic this environment was, nothing really had the chance, like life didn't really have the chance to survive. And it would describe further on, eventually, gods would have the gods would start to form, and the gods seeking the power of themselves, like they're kind of arrogant, kind of greedy in a way. They always did want to have power. It was kind of built into what they were. They recognized that they would not have any followers, any real power, while these beasts roamed about. So they all came together, and they, making a great grand plan, they worked slowly, carefully, sealing each one away. And they sealed them all away in separate places, assigned various guardians here and there using ancient magics, older than any wizard, to help keep them in place. And as time went on, the beasts were sealed. Life managed to flourish, advanced. The various races came into existence. The only thing that may have been left of these great forces were small fragments of them here and there. The largest of one, which is referenced, is a giant turtle of sorts. Everything else, and the turtle itself didn't really act as aggressively as its source, parent, so to speak, did. So the gods kind of ignored it. It doesn't really describe in much detail of how the gods sealed it away, which makes sense. It's kind of just a story depicting the start of the world. And time goes on, it kind of mentions this tale passed on from eons and eons in the past, so long that even the gods have forgotten what they've done. And here it lays to be forgotten yet again. And that's pretty much the most you can see.
Some of those elemental creatures are the god beasts, I assume. If we put the mathematics together on this.
Kind of appears to be something we mortals really shouldn't be looking at.
No, and Azul just kind of seems to be lost in thought. That, I don't think we're gonna have a choice. I mean, can we really expect the gods to do all this again? I mean, if they are actually getting free.
But
I think the next question we should ask Amos is, why is it a warning on the airship? Why was the airship looking for them?
And how did it even know how to find them? Like, there had to be some reason it knew how to find them.
The only way we really know about that if we ask the creator, which Azul, do you know?
We would have
Who made the map?
Well, I would assume it's Arashi's, but I'm not that sure anymore. It didn't actually carry his sigil, but he doesn't put it on all of his work, just a lot of it.
So
and some of his older stuff doesn't have it.
So you say maybe our best bet might. He still might be our best bet, really.
He's still probably our best bet, and even if he didn't make it, he might still know. Nobody knows how old he is.
You mean he's not normal?
He's not even like us.
Oh, not fox, okay.
No, he's not like us at all. He's more a force of nature than anything.
Well, putting aside psychological descriptions of people, perhaps we should look more into finding him or determining if maybe the seals weakened the creatures in case they do come back.
Wait, seals?
It mentions in his book they were sealed. Perhaps.
Yes, it did. There's actually an old tale in this town. What is that tale? It goes something about how there was a great evil locked away here a long time ago, and the Duke, it shall stay there so long as there is nobility in this town.
Didn't the Duke nearly get assassinated the other day? Actually, do
No,
I know that?
If I
no, you would have
remember
heard that.
hearing
No,
correctly, it was an assassination attempt.
there was an attempt on his life, and you've probably noticed the town being so uptight. That's why. Everyone
Um,
is very worried now because of that, especially the trademaster himself seems to be at a hair's trigger almost. Don't
if
know
he was,
why.
if he was to say, pass, is there anyone to take his place?
Kind of look around. The three of you won't breathe a word, right?
No.
Kind of look around again. Walk out to the doorway of the classroom and look around, make sure nobody's there, and close it. The Duke of this town is not a very pleasant fellow in the least, and he's only been getting worse in the recent months.
And of course, because of that, nobody's interested in bearing his child.
No, not at all, and can't even orchestrate a arranged marriage of any sort for it. Nobody wants to have a thing to do with him.
Was he always that bad?
I I wouldn't know.
You wouldn't know. Hmm.
The Duke doesn't actually have many dealings in this town.
Wait,
He's more of a figurehead than anything.
you said the trade master was on edge about it. Why would that be unusual?
Well, the trade guild holds the real power in this town and has for at least a century now.
Perhaps we should look into why he seems so so eager or nervous about that assassination attempt.
That might not be a bad idea, but you would have to get in an audience with him right now will not be simple.
I think we can figure something out. Let's go.
All right then. Um,
Would you like to join us? Perhaps you would like to.
I really should not join that at all. I'm just going to do a bit more research from this book here, and it takes the one that Shiki had taken. I did not actually get to this one yet. I'm sure there's a lot more details I might be able to pick out.
Sir, have you got any books about the other world? Something that may have been passed on to you?
I've been collecting a good number of books. If you want one about the other world, though, perhaps I'm finished with this one here. It's not the most in-depth. It's more just a story of a series of tales written by an old adventurer as they wandered across the lands. I was able to piece together a good number of details about it and very quickly realized it was not these lands that I call home.
Huh. Huh.
Though you have helped me, but I can't just give you this book for no cost, I'm afraid. It is more or less one of a kind, even if I have already gone through it.
But you telling me you can't help but pull Amnesiac Fox out?
Roll persuasion.
That's what I'm doing. Also, don't call it just yet, because I do have a trick up my sleeve.
You do have lucky, I'm assuming.
Not needed.
I'm not gonna bother, because if I re-roll it, no, because I've got the bedroll. But yeah, I'm gonna leave that then.
All right then. And this old elderly mage kind of just looks at you, and he just kind of seems to waver for a little bit. Oh, fine. I can't really resist a child in their pretty face anyway.
I'm actually 200 and something years old.
And he
But-
pulls the book back.
I
Oh, very well. Just keep it safe.
will. Thank you very much, sir.
Shall we get going? I'm interested in why this trade master is so interested on this matter.
And Azul kind of like, yeah, we should. Oh, wait, one last thing. Sir, before we go, have you ever heard of someone being able to animate a spellbook before? And the old elderly mage kind of looks down at you for a second and just thinks on it. I've never heard of anything like that, though that might be more a transmutation specialists, ideal, or
Uh,
perhaps a conjurers. I'm not too well versed in either of those schools.
is there anyone around here that might be able to?
Oh, no one around these parts. Zook and Rin are only good at illusions and far too often at just pranking themselves.
Sounds
Unless
fun.
it was an illusion we saw. Perhaps it wasn't real.
It wasn't a. I'm pretty sure it wasn't an illusion. Yeah,
Hmm.
you know, it kind of did spells. You put a wall around you. I don't think you could have kept up illusion.
Alright. So, perhaps we shall just move on for now.
Oh yeah, that's right. You weren't there for that. I thought I explained it well, but
Oh,
apparently
yeah.
didn't. Um,
Well, the
yeah.
character still said it, so.
Yeah. I can explain more about what that was after the session. Make sure you're completely up on top of things. So
Yeah.
you'll all kind of just bid your way out. You'll head out, heading off to the trade masters area. You can find, I believe, I set it up so that the trade master was located on. Oh, where did I write that down? I know I had that.
Near
written
report,
somewhere.
if I remember right.
Uh,
He was like in a blue district.
I could have sworn they were in the purple or the brown. I don't remember which though.
Could be
I
in the
have my notes
purple.
here somewhere. I just got to open them up.
Actually,
So I
didn't
remember
we
where they
all
were.
have notes on that? Hold up.
Okay, so, alright, so,
Handouts.
alright, the brown
Staff
district was the
info.
Adventurers Guild. So yeah, it's in the purple district. It's in the center. So it's this building right here.
Yeah, I see it.
Yeah, I knew I had my notes somewhere. I just had to find them. Alright, and you'll head that direction. You can see that there's actually like a number of guards, more like mercenaries at points, staying around, keeping watch on things. Kind of understandable. There is a lot of trade going on in this area. Carts full of goods being taken down towards the docks. People with large lists of shipping manifests and etc. running around, keeping track of things. It's a pretty busy area in this part of the town.
Hmm.
Alright, well, doesn't change our agenda. Into a building we go.
All right, and as you go in, a pair of guards will kind of lower their pole arms, kind of bar your passage, and they'll look at you and just kind of ask, "You don't look like merchants. What's your business here?"
We're doing some investigations. We need to get through.
Roll persuasion.
Oh boy.
You want to know the best part?
I
Do you want to know the best part?
uh,
Because of what you said, the DC was high enough that a perfect 20 doesn't get you in.
yeah.
Investigations? Sorry, we don't have time for that here. Official business only. You'll have to leave.
Perhaps I didn't make myself clear. Stand aside, please. I don't want to have to hurt you.
It's our job to guard these doors. If you don't have any business here, we won't let you in. If you try to go further, we will stop you.
She's on her own, fighting gods.
And Azul kind of
Just
said,
two of them?
there was just two of them, yes.
Alright, Azul's gonna step up.
Azul's stepping back. Azul called, if we attack the guards, why do you think he'll want to speak to us?
They'll just send more guards.
Unfortunately, trying to save the town and potentially the world takes priority over this. So I'm going to have to deal with them using physical methods. I'll make sure not to hurt them too badly.
And both of them just kind of look at you with a laugh.
Well,
Roll a wisdom save.
Wisdom save.
Yes. With your with you speaking aloud back and forth to the party and your intent to try and force your way in made clear, you turn back to look at the guards, and as you do so, your entire body goes stiff.
Alright, that'll last what? A round?
And in this round, one of the guards steps forward and he slaps manacles on your hands.
Alright. She can still kick.
You may want to get her legs as well.
All right. At the end of your next turn, so roll another wisdom save.
Wisdom save, and not able to get out of that with classical.
Oh yeah, you do have the class skill to get it out.
Yeah.
Yep. So you've broken free of a whole person.
Yep.
Right. Your hands are bound. What are you going to do now?
Physically break the bindings.
Okay.
Athletics.
Athletics work, yes. You try your hardest to bring the bindings apart. You can't. You can kind of hear them straining. You bruise your wrists pretty badly, but you don't actually manage to break them.
Alright, but the only reason I didn't attack is technically takes an action to break the whole person, so go ahead.
All right. And by this point, as you finish like trying to break the bindings apart, you look up and you see there are probably 2 pole arms pointed directly at your neck, and seen alongside them there is a pair of guards with crossbows drawn and aimed right at you, and what looks to be he doesn't look to be an actual fighter per se, but I assume he's more of a merchant. Sitting behind, he kind of has his he's pinching his the bridge of his nose. Whatever you're trying to do, I suggest you don't try to break into the trade guild.
We're here to ask questions of something that could potentially save a large number of people. This is getting in the way, and is actually quite frustrating.
Yes, and you know how many people have tried to use that excuse in the past?
Involving some lore that I've encountered in a book recently, along with a warning regarding this area. Perhaps we should discuss this in private.
Yeah, absolutely. In the jail cells.
If I refuse,
Then you will be killed.
yeah, there's only 4 of them. I think I could take them. I'd rather discuss this in private, possibly in a bar, not in a jail cell.
Azul kind of speaking. We should probably really not try to anger them at all.
I think she's on her own right at this point, Azul. I think we should probably just step back out of the way.
Yes, we probably should. And Azul will step back with Shiki.
So how are we gonna explain? Are we gonna explain to them that she's in a body bag?
And at this point, whatever the merchant who's standing there just kind of crosses his arms. If you really are intending to warn us or something, safety of the town, killing these people is only going to brand you a criminal and a bandit.
Not warning so much as trying to prevent a wide-scale disaster, especially with the information we came across. We have no idea if it is what we're suspecting at this point. However, the fact that an assassination attempt was made only furthers the fact that it is a potential threat in the immediate future.
You believe that assassination attempt has something involved with this?
Quite possibly.
How so?
Something about a lore about a seal being broken. Well, a seal being bound to the Duke of Land.
And who do you want to speak to because of that?
the trade master here has been recently on edge since the assassination attempt. It's possible he knows something about it, or he's the culprit behind the assassination attempt. Either one, I believe I need to talk to him to investigate this matter further.
Roll persuasion.
Um, we know how this goes.
Yes, we do.
Yes, we do.
Yeah, failed.
Hmm.
-1 persuasion. She's
Yeah.
not a people person.
All right. This is what we do. We will let you go in there, but a few of the guards will be there as well. It will only be you, and you will be in bindings.
Okay, although I'm not too fond of the bindings.
Yes,
I
we'll be
didn't know
glad
you-
we're letting you see him at all.
Okay, however, the guards need to, unless they're trusted with this kind of information, need to be...
You can discuss this when we get to the trade master.
Okay.
And at this point, he'll kind of wave his hands around. The guards will throw manacles on your legs. They're not so tight that you they're not strict your movement so much that you couldn't you can't walk or what have you. But you'd be moving at half speed if you were still in combat until it's taken off. You wouldn't be able to really kick. Jumping would be difficult. Basically, anything dex related would be a disadvantage. You move at half speed.
So normal speed.
Essentially, yes, because you are monk.